Okay, so this is the Kelly text, and this is lesson 3. We're going to be going through the Maqqef, and this video will be available on the On Your Own Time section on the website for those students who are following us on Your Own Time program. So let's begin. Maqqef is a short horizontal stroke used to join together two or more words within a verse. Words so joined are pronounced as one speech unit, the primary accent falling on the final word in the unit. Another way of stating this is that all words that are not final in such a unit lose their primary accents. They may undergo certain vowel changes on this account. For example, coal, meaning all, becomes coal with a different vowel pointing, which has a kametz hatuf, which is O sound, when placed before a Maqqef, as in kol hayom, or all the day, Genesis 6:5. Likewise, ma, what, becomes ma, when joined to the following word by a Maqqef, as in ma yikra lo. Most of the occurrences of Maqqef will be with monosyllabic words such as the following. So number 1, we have el, or unto. This is, then we have im, meaning if, gam, meaning also, kol, meaning all, lo, meaning not, ma, meaning what, me, meaning who, mean, meaning from, odd, meaning unto, all, im, meaning with, and pay, or pen, meaning lest, P-E-N. I guess we can transliterate it that one that way. Okay, so now we have sign of the direct object, et. Okay, so a direct object is a word representing a person or thing upon which the action of a verb is performed. The direct object may be either definite or indefinite. If definite, it is usually preceded by the article et, aleph tav. The particle serves merely as the sign of the direct object and is therefore not to be translated. Et may be written alone, or it may be joined by a Maqqef to the following word. In the latter case, saray is shortened to segol. So for example, saray would be two dots like this. It would become, with a Maqqef, it would be shortened to segol, like that. Thus we find hashamayim, et hashamayim, in Genesis 1:1, but in Genesis 1:4, or 8 rather, 8 hashamayim in this one. This is 8. And then in Genesis 1:4, they have the Maqqef in here. There it is. And this gets shortened. 8 becomes et haor. Et haor. Okay, so there's some slight vowel changes when the Maqqef is used. So now we're going to study the Dagesh forte. We studied earlier that Dagesh lean is a dot which may be placed in 6 consonants: Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Kaf, Pei, and Tav, in order to indicate that they are to be given a hard pronunciation. Dagesh forte is identical in appearance to Dagesh lean, but serves an entirely different purpose. It is a dot that indicates the doubling of the consonant in which it stands. It may be placed in any consonant except the 5 gutturals. Okay, so Dagesh forte cannot be placed in any of the gutturals. Okay, so the gutturals: Resh, Ayin, Chet, He, Aleph. These are 3 basic rules to follow in distinguishing Dagesh lean from Dagesh forte. And so the difference in the way it's pronounced, we will see. So number 1, a dot in any letter other than Beged Kafet letter is a Dagesh forte and indicates the doubling of that letter. A dot in a Beged Kafet letter will be a Dagesh lean whenever that letter is not immediately preceded by a vowel. A dot in a Beged Kafet letter will be a Dagesh forte whenever that letter is immediately preceded by a vowel. Another way of stating these last 2 rules is the Dagesh lean never stands after a vowel, whereas Dagesh forte always stands immediately after a vowel. It should also be noted with regard to the 6 Beged Kafat letters that Dagesh forte has the same effect as Dagesh lean in hardening their pronunciation. Thus, the Dagesh in the word Brit is a Dagesh lean. No vowel precedes it, and the pronunciation is hard Brit. On the other hand, the Dagesh in Habain is a Dagesh forte. So what they're saying is the bet takes a B sound, Habain, making it a Dagesh forte. And we notice that this is the vowel that immediately precedes it. It happens to be a patach. Again, if it is preceded by a vowel, then this dot is a Dagesh forte, and it doubles the sound of the bet in this case. And so it is pronounced Habain. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the silent Shavah. In an earlier study, we learned that Hebrew makes use of semivowels or half vowels known as vocal Shavahs. We learned that there are simple vocal Shavahs. There it is, just a plain Shavah without anything next to it. And a compound Shavah, here we have a reduced patach. Let's see here. We have somehow, okay, if you add this to a, looks like they've got a yod that could be added there. Here's one here. Okay, these are, I guess these are, what they're doing is, this is not Hebrew here. They're just separating these for you. They're separating, this is English apostrophe, or English comma rather. Okay, so this is how they're separated. Okay, so you've got a reduced patak, you've got a reduced segol, and this one is reduced kametz. Hebrew also makes use of the silent Shavah, written exactly like the simple vocal Shavah, but serving an entirely different purpose. A vocal Shavah, whether simple or compound, will only stand beneath a consonant that begins a syllable. The silent Shavah, on the other hand, only stands beneath a consonant that ends a syllable. The silent Shavah, therefore, may also be referred to as a syllable divider. Whenever two shavas stand under adjacent consonants within a word, the first will always be silent and the second will be vocal. In other words, the first marks the end of the syllable, whereas the second stands as at the beginning of a new syllable. For example, we have yim, that's the first syllable, shelu. And you hear the slight F sound in shelu? That's because that one is vocal. This one is silent because it closes a syllable. Yim shelu. So, for example, the first shava is silent, whereas the second is vocal. A shava that stands beneath a doubled consonant, one that has a dagesh forte, will always be vocal. For example, in this case, we have kitelu, kitelu. And so you see they have transliterated this little E at the top. That is showing you that this is a vocal shava. It has a slight E sound. Kitelu. Okay, let's see here. And the shava that follows it, the tet, must be classified as a vocal shava. A particularity of the final kaf is that it is normally pointed with a raised silent shava. So that usually when you see that in a chaf sofit, it closes the word. This is perhaps to distinguish it from other letters that have final forms. Interesting. Okay, so let's look at some of these examples here. Here we have melech. You see that hard ending? And lake. Okay, and you see the silent shabaz inside the chaf sofit. This is the chaf sofit here. Chaf sofit, final letter. Okay. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down past these exercises to get, there's some extra material here I want to focus on. Okay, since beginning students may still have difficulty distinguishing between silent and vocal shavas, students are informed that all shavas in exercise 3-1 or Badat 1 are silent. Whenever a beged kafet letter stands other than at the beginning of a word, it is immediately preceded by a consonant with a silent shava. It must be pointed with a dagesh lean. The rule applies in this exercise to chapter 3.1, 1, 6, 8, 9, 11, and 16. So those are the, speaking of the exercises. A beged kafet letter that stands at the beginning of a word and is therefore not preceded by a consonant with a vowel must be pointed with dagesh lean. Okay, and so this is in chapter 3.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 13, 15, and 16. Now, this is not in the text. This is an extra material here that correlates with the text. A beged kafat letter immediately preceded by a consonant with a vowel, half vowel or full vowel, must be written without a dagesh lean. Chapter 3.1, so we have chaf and bet. Number 2, we have gamel dalet. 3, okay, so I'll just move on down here. A consonant that is doubled by a dagesh forte must stand immediately after a consonant pointed with a full vowel. A half vowel, whether simple or compound, does not permit a dagesh forte or dagesh lean in the following consonant. Okay, the silent shava under resh causes a dagesh lean to be placed in the following dalet, a beged kafet consonant. The same is true of pei in 3.2. So these are essentially, these are just some notes after the exercises but I'm getting them in the first video here of the Maqqef. Since the Dagesh lean has dropped out a bet, or vet in this case, a Beged Kafet letter, the Shava under Yod must be vocal rather than silent. Since Tav, another Beged Kafet letter, has a Dagesh lean, the Shava under the preceding consonant must be silent rather than vocal. Okay, so let's go to exercises here. All right. Let's see how we do with these. I think we covered all of the material. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so this first exercise, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to leave this for the next session. But in the meantime, let's see, what else do we have? Okay, so this is where the Hebrew study panel is. I want to add this to this video. For those of you who are in the on your own time, this is the access here. Private students have their access ID buttons here. And pretty soon there's going to be a Devarim button. And so I think what we'll do is conclude this study tonight. This chapter was a little shorter than other chapters, but the information, I assure you, is a little more dense. So we're going to go through these exercises, and I'm going to post the exercises. And so I'll schedule a meeting next week with the exercises. Okay. Very well. And I thank you for watching this video, and we hope to have many more as we study this material. Shalom, shalom.